Pero sila, Presidente Marcos, they enabled Duterte. Si Speaker Romualdez, Majority Leader, he enabled the war on drugs. Yung mga kasama natin na nagpo-prosecute ngayon kay Duterte, they enabled war on drugs. Ako po, nakipaglaban. At hindi ko po nilalabanan ang dinastiya ng Marcos lamang. Dinalabanan ko rin ang dinastiya ng mga Duterte sapagkat alam ko na ang punot dulo ng korupsyon dito sa ating bansa ay ang pataba at ngayon mabubundat ng mga political dynasties. Sabi sa akin, Egay, yung mga salita mo nakakapagpalakas kay Sara Duterte. Sabi ko, mali yan. Secretary, ang nagpapalakas kay Duterte ay ang patuloy ng mga palpak na polisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Sinabi magpapakulong December 15, nagpakulong ba kahit isa? Sinabi ipapasa yung Independent Commission for Infrastructure na mag-iimbestiga. Pinasa ba? Binola lang kami. Sabi, magpapasa ng isang makatotohanang anti-political dynasty, ipa-priority. Ano nangyari? Sa halip na anti-political dynasty ang pinasa ng Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, ito po ay pro-political dynasties. Hindi lang magpapataba, magpapabundat pa sa mga dinastiya dito sa ating bansa. I was removed and replaced as Senior Deputy Minority Leader without any stated reason. But let me say this clearly. I have no bitterness about my replacement. In fact, I am honored that I was replaced by a fellow liberal and a far stronger fighter for truth and justice, Congresswoman Laila De Lima. She is a former senator, a former Secretary of Justice, and a woman who sacrificed 6 years of her life in prison for standing up against abuses in government and for speaking for the truth. If there is anyone more worthy to take my place, it is Congresswoman Laila De Lima. Papasalamat din po ako kay Minority Leader Nonoy Libanan. Alam ko po na nakatali ang kanyang mga kamay. Malaki na rin po ang kanyang sakripisyo sapagkat madalas siyang tinatawagan ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos dahil sa aking tuloy-tuloy na kritisismo sa mga polisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Policies, ulitin ko po, policies, not personal attacks. Mr. Speaker, I believe that I have faithfully performed my duty as Senior Deputy Minority Leader. I have raised questions. I have spoken the truth. I have offered well-meaning criticisms in the interest of accountability. But it appears that this House leadership does not welcome criticisms. And that, Mr. Speaker, is the real problem of dynastic politics. When the President of the Republic has a son serving as Majority Leader of this House, there is an unavoidable conflict of interest when a son becomes overly protective of his father instead of protecting the integrity of legislation. Some time ago, I spoke about the failure of President Marcos to protect the integrity of the 2023, 2024, and 2025 national budget. This Congress inserted and diverted some 1.45 trillion in the national budget. This is unprecedented in the history of our country. Defunding major foreign assisted projects and even the computer-generated maintenance allocations for our national highways. Kaya nagkasira-sira na po ang ating mga major highways. Funds from the PhilHealth and the PDIC were also diverted. Money that should have protected the health and savings of our people, only to end up in ghost projects or substandard infrastructure. And so I ask, why did President Marcos allow this? Why did his cabinet remain silent? How could such massive diversions happen under his watch? Mr. Speaker, it is difficult to believe that this could happen without the knowledge, if not the tolerance, of the President himself, especially when the Speaker then of this House is his own close relative. Hindi pa po ako tapos magsalita nang ako ay sunduin ni Minority Leader Congressman Libanan at dalhin sa opisina ni Majority Leader Sandro Marcos. Pagdating po namin, nandoon na rin si Speaker Bogie D. Nakaupo po ako, tahimik ako, sinita ako ni Congressman Marcos at tinanong, ano yun? I replied that the anti-political dynasty advocacy has long been one of my advocacies. Ngunit, sinabi niya, hindi yun. Inaatake mo ang aking ama. Ang sagot ko, ang kritisismo ay nakakatulong upang maituwid ang mga pagkakamali kung bukas ang isip ng mga nakikinig. Ngunit, Mr. Speaker, bakit kailangan questionin ng isang miyembro ng kapulungang ito ang aking talumpati? Kung may mali, kung may kasinungalingan, bakit hindi ako debatiin dito mismo sa plenaryo? Sa aking pag-aaral at sa aking patuloy na pagtatanong, lalo kong nauunawaan kung gaano kalaking pandarambong sa pondo ng bayan ang naganap sa loob ng 3 taon ng Administrasyong Marcos. Lalo pa nang ipakita sa akin ni Congressman Leandro Libiste ang ilang datos na tila nagpapakita ng pamahalaan ay parang pinapatakbo ng isang sindikato. I intend to discuss this further in a separate privileged speech. Mr. Speaker, every day I pray to the Lord to give me the courage and wisdom of discernment on what I should do with the responsibility entrusted to me. Madali sana para sa akin ang manahimik. Madali sana para sa akin na sumabay na lamang sa agos upang masiguro na mas tahimik ang buhay at baka manalo pa uli ako sa eleksyon sa 2028. Madali sana para sa akin na itigil na ang laban na ito na maaring tawagin ng iba na recklessness at padalos-dalos. But there is a greater calling, something that I cannot ignore, no matter how inconvenient it may be for me and for my family, something that I cannot close my eyes. Just like when the Lord called Abraham and said, "Go from your country and your father's home to the land that I will show you." And Abraham followed without hesitation. He followed the Lord. Even the uncertainty is unimaginable because he trusted that the Lord would guide him and that he was doing something for God and for his fellow men. For me, what I'm doing is a bit risky. But that would already be an honorable life to live, despite all my weaknesses. 2 weeks ago, may isang gabinete ang kinausap ako. Sinabi sa akin, Guy, ang tingin ng Malacanang, Sara Duterte ka. Sabi ko po, nung panahon ng mga Duterte, ako po yung kauna-unahan na nagsalita laban sa war on drugs. Tinanggalan pa nga ako ang distrito ng aking pondo ng 1 taon. Pero sila, Presidente Marcos, they enabled Duterte. Si Speaker Romualdez, Majority Leader, he enabled the war on drugs. Yung mga kasama natin na nagpo-prosecute ngayon kay Duterte, they enabled war on drugs. Ako po, nakipaglaban. At hindi ko po nilalabanan ang dinastiya ng Marcos lamang. Nilalabanan ko rin ang dinastiya ng mga Duterte sapagkat alam ko na ang punot dulo ng korupsyon dito sa ating bansa ay ang pataba at ngayon mabubundat ng mga political dynasties. Sabi sa akin, Egay, yung mga salita mo nakakapagpalakas kay Sara Duterte. Sabi ko, mali yan. Secretary, ang nagpapalakas kay Duterte ay ang patuloy na mga palpak na polisiya ng Administrasyong Marcos. Sinabi magpapakulong December 15, nagpakulong ba kahit isa? Sinabi ipapasa yung Independent Commission for Infrastructure na mag-iimbestiga. Pinasa ba? Binola lang kami. Sabi, magpapasa ng isang makatotohanang anti-political dynasty. Ipa-priority. Ano nangyari? Sa halip na anti-political dynasty ang pinasa ng Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms, ito po ay pro-political dynasties. Hindi lang magpapataba, magpapabundat pa sa mga dinastiya dito sa ating bansa. Today, I bow out as Senior Deputy Minority Leader of this House. But I am even more emboldened to be a stronger voice against what is wrong with our system. I may no longer have the position. I may no longer have the committee membership. But I still have the knowledge. I still have the experience. And I have still the voice and commitment to stand against what is unjust, what is corrupt, and what is abusive. I am no longer Senior Deputy Minority Leader, but I will be the equalizer in this House. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, my colleagues, until my next privilege speech. Thank you.